Right, Golden Arrow bus service has moved its operations out of Khayelitsha and Nyanga after one of its drivers was shot today. The suspension of operations followed days of tension between taxi operators and Cape Town authorities, which culminated in a complete breakdown in talks between the two. Just yesterday, the taxi operators withdrew their services, leaving many commuters stranded late into last night. Bronwen Dyke is the spokesperson for Golden Arrow Bus and joins us now via the video link. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. Has there been any improvement at all in the situation to allow your buses back into Khayelitsha and Nyanga?
Unfortunately not. The situation remains very volatile, and currently we also aren't able to operate in the Witstrand area in Atlantis. Obviously, we would very much like to be able to take people much more closely to their homes, but for their safety and the safety of our employees, we unfortunately still cannot enter these areas. We are receiving assistance from law enforcement, but it isn't safe for them to enter the areas either.
Golden Arrow buses are often the target when taxi violence erupts. Have there been any attempts at engaging with taxi operators to allow buses to safely transport commuters?
I think that engagement takes place by a government. Obviously, we were, the public was assured that there would be no violence, and at this stage, we can't speculate as to who is responsible. And so we are calling on SAPS to please investigate and catch the perpetrators and send a very clear message that people who are just trying to get home from work or from school should be able to do so safely, and that our bus drivers shouldn't fear for their lives.
So what happens in the interim? Do you think that the impasse just will persist for now?
Unfortunately, we have no way of knowing what Santaco is going to be doing. All that we can do is try to do the best that we can from our side. We only have 1,100 buses, and the demand is great. So we are going to be operating until late tonight probably, but we are going to try to help as many people as we can across Cape Town, and we'd ask them just to please be patient. We really are trying to get to everybody.
This must obviously come at a huge inconvenience to Golden Arrow commuters and the business itself. Have you started counting the losses?
Not yet. I think it's all hands on deck. Everybody's deployed across Cape Town, just trying to keep an eye on hotspot areas. So it's not our biggest concern at the moment. Our biggest concern is the fact that, we had to operate until after midnight last night to get people home, people who had been waiting for hours to get home. So our big focus is, obviously we run a scheduled service, so this is very different. We aren't running according to our schedules necessarily. We're just looking for where the need is and trying to redirect our services. And that's very different to how we normally operate. So our focus is just on where are people needing us, how can we get to them, how can we make sure they get home safely.
What about those who may be concerned at this stage about tickets? I mean, ticket holders who may feel that this will impact them, for the month.
We would urge them then to contact us. They can call the transport information on 0800 656 4663, and we will make announcements in that regard at a later date.
In terms of an appeal, Bronwen, what would you say to those who may be behind this?
We're asking, please, I don't think anybody would not be touched by seeing those images of people walking home last night. We heard of people walking from Cape Town to Khayelitsha. That's an incredible distance. Old people, people with injuries, pregnant women. And we understand that there are issues, but we ask for anybody who does have these issues and who wants their voice to be heard to please use the proper forum. Please do not target our buses. We're just trying to help the public, and they deserve to be able to travel safely, and our drivers deserve to be safe too. So please, let us help everybody to get home and table your grievances elsewhere.
As you make that plea, Bronwen, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges you're facing as you and I speak, challenges and concerns?
I think the biggest issue is that when a situation is so volatile and complex, it's impossible to know exactly what's going to happen. So, for example, this morning in Khayelitsha, everything was running smoothly. We had been in the area for quite some time, and then all of a sudden tensions flared, and that's when our bus was set alight and one of our drivers sustained a gunshot wound. So for us, it's finding that balance between where can we go safely, how can we help people best, because people are obviously very upset that they can't travel to their homes, that they have to walk for kilometers and kilometers, and trying to make that judgment call. It's very, very difficult, but we really are doing our best.
Have you been in contact with the deceased driver's family?
The driver's not deceased. He sustained a gunshot wound to his leg. The prognosis is very good. He was assisted with medical treatment immediately.
Yes, yeah, I meant that. Is he out of hospital and recovering since?
He is fine. We're obviously keeping track of him, and we will follow all the protocols in terms of dealing with him. We also have a social worker who is employed full-time, who will be able to assist him in terms of how he's feeling emotionally, and then obviously we'll look into his recovery.
And in assessing the tensions around the other bus drivers, what is the communication with the other bus drivers?
I think it's very difficult, bus drivers are all human beings, and so we obviously can't force them to come into work. But I think what's really been incredible for us to see is that under the most difficult of circumstances, our bus drivers have been there. They understand that people want to get home, and they've been there to help people. And so we also just really want to say thank you so much to our employees. We would not be able to do this without our bus drivers and without everybody who's out there now, all over Cape Town, trying to make sure that we can run our service, and we're extremely grateful to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for that update. Let's perhaps leave it there for now. Bronwen Dyke, the spokesperson for Golden Arrow Bus